What up, it's your boy Pat, aka That Varsity Geek, here with another geek-focused video for you guys for this week. Now, with Season 7, the final season of the CW show 100 dropping this Wednesday, May 20th, I thought it would be a good time to kind of go into that show and discuss it a little bit. The 100 originally premiered on March 19th, 2014, and has been going strongly ever since then. And it's based on a series of young adult novels, the first of which was released in 2013. So if you're a fan of movies like The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, etc., this is a show that you'll probably like and be able to get into really easily. Or if you're a fan of sci-fi or dystopian future kind of things, this will be right up your alley as well. No talk about a show would be complete without the plot, so let's get into it. So, for the show, Earth has gone through a nuclear apocalypse that's destroyed the Earth. The Earth is no longer habitable, and before the nuclear apocalypse hit, a bunch of people got up into spaceships and made a giant space station called the Ark that they used to survive as the last remnants of humanity. Because they're in a space station, they don't have the ability to resupply or restock on a lot of their things that are necessary. So they take crime very serious here, especially when it comes to stealing, whether it's drugs or antibiotics or food, clothing, anything like that. Criminal activity like stealing is punished very severely. And also, to keep the number of people on the Ark limited, every family is only allowed to have one child. Now, anyone in the Ark who is caught committing a crime is floated. And what that means is basically, they drop you out into space. Now, this not only allows them to show the severity of crimes, but it also helps them to keep the population down, which is necessary because, like I said before, they can't go back to Earth and resupply. Earth is uninhabitable at this point. However, if you're a juvenile, you do not get floated. They detain you until they either figure out what to do with you or you become an adult, so you could be floated or you could be rehabilitated and let back into the Ark. It really just depends. But they don't go into that a lot in this show because we're at a point where they're not really dealing with juveniles like that. At the point where we jump into the show, 3 generations have been born on the Ark. So it's been about 100 years since the people left Earth and went up into the Ark, and now they're over capacity for what the Ark can provide, and they don't have enough food, enough supplies, enough oxygen, medicine, things like that to support all the people that are alive on the Ark. And because of that, they take 100 of those juvenile delinquents and they decide that they're going to send them down to Earth to see if the Earth is habitable again, and if it's been enough time that's passed for everybody who's in the Ark to come back down to Earth and live on the Earth again. And so the plot focuses on these 100 juvenile delinquents that are sent down to Earth after it's been almost 100 years since the apocalypse, and really to go explore and see if the Earth is habitable again for everybody else that's left up on the Ark. As well as the Ark having to deal with its shortages of food, supplies, and really try to keep as many people alive as possible until they can get some kind of confirmation, either positive or negative, from the 100 that they send down to see if the Earth can really support them. Because if the Earth can't, then they have to start making some cuts on the Ark because they really just can't afford to have that many people on there anymore. Now, in this show, you have a lot of interesting characters, and you have a lot of really good and really cool character development. I mean, when you look at it, these are really teenagers and a couple of small children. So they're still trying to grow and figure, who they are and things out about themselves. And at the same time, they're having to deal with this new harsh environment that's on Earth that they've just been thrust into. You have people who are willing to commit murder just because of something that somebody else's parents did up on the Ark. You have power struggles between the characters as they, being teenagers, try to figure out some kind of structured society for everybody to live with. You have people building relationships, whether it be romantic, friendship, antagonistic, just all kinds of potential development for these kids as they're trying to just survive down on Earth. And that's part of the reason why I like the show so much. There's really so much potential for development, and you really get to see all the growth from all these characters and how over time they change, and just how much this new Earth has a huge impact on the development of these young men and women. Now, I think the developers did a really good job with the casting. All the people are casted really well, and I can really understand each person's role. And I think the actors as a whole did a pretty good job of making me believe the characters that they were trying to portray. The scenery and the costumes and everything, I think that is really well done. It kind of has a Mad Max vibe, except in a more lush kind of setting. But I think it all plays really well with the themes that the show is going for. Put simply, this show focuses on a world that we destroyed and how 100 teenagers are humanity's last hope at surviving. They have to work through power struggle issues. They have to work through, normal natural issues such as getting food, water, shelter, etc. They have to battle the new harsh environment that Earth is now presenting, as well as some other struggles as well that they go through that I'm not going to tell you about because I want it to be a surprise when you go ahead and watch the show. Since the last season is dropping its first episode this week, If this is something that sounds interesting to you, I recommend that you go back and watch it. Try to catch up as much as you can so that you're not getting a lot of spoilers for the last bit of the show, and so that you can catch up and get to season 7 as soon as possible. Now, luckily, the show kind of drops in between spring and summer each year, and because of that, they were able to finish their filming and their production on it before all the coronavirus stuff hit. So that means that they're completely on schedule with dropping all the episodes, which is a really welcome thing to hear, considering how much this pandemic has changed release dates and changed their production of all kinds of different shows, movies, video games, etc. Now you can watch all the previous seasons of The 100 on the CW app, on cable, through whatever streaming site you can find it, things like that. And if you're looking for the last season, it drops this Wednesday, May 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and so you can tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock for the next 16 or so weeks to watch the last season of The 100. If this show sounds interesting to you, let me know. Let me know if you're going to check it out. If you've watched the show, chop it up with me and other people in the comments. Talk about your favorite characters, your favorite moments in the show, the things that just caught you completely by surprise, all of those kinds of things. And I hope that we can just have a great conversation about The 100 because it's a really interesting show to watch. I've been Pat, that Varsity Geek. Peace out. Hope you have a great week, and go check out The 100.